Hello, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to Blogs and Fictions platform. If you are not a blog star, please make sure that you subscribe and press the bell to be notified when I have juicy, scrumptious content coming on this channel. Um, hey Trish, thank you for coming in. Please thumbs up the live. Please thumbs up the live. And if you are watching a replay, make sure you thumbs up. Today, our topic is how to be a great customer service representative. So, we are going to wait just a few seconds, let some more people roll in. And as you come in, make sure you thumbs up. Hello, Christine in real life. Thank you so much for coming in. How are you today? Hey, Patricia. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, this is on how to be a good customer service representative. First, you want to build a rapport with your customers. I'm not on mute, Nick. Sorry about that, guys. I'm okay. Just finished my long awaited video. Laugh a lot. I have to check that out, Christine. I'm going to check that out. Let me write that down so that I know to check it out after my live. Give me 1 second. All right, I got you down. I'm gonna check you out. Hey, Nick. Yes, what Patricia said. Like, pal, share, pal, subscribe, pal. Yes. So if you're watching a replay or if you're just coming in, make sure that you thumbs up this live. Thank you so much. So, the first thing is with how to become a great customer service representative is you want to build a rapport with your customers. You won't remember every single customer that comes through the doors, okay? You won't. That's nearly impossible. However, once you notice that there is customers that come in that you're like, oh, I'm seeing them like a few times a month, those are customers that may live in your area, and you want to build a rapport, you want to build a relationship with those customers. How do you do that? Well, the way that you do that is one, get to know them on a name basis. There was plenty of customers that I had when I was in management and that my employees had that came through their lines, and they would know them by their name. They would know some of the things that they like to purchase. You got to pay attention to your regular customers. Pay attention to all of your customers. However, your regular customers, hey Monica Boo, how are you? Your regular customers, you want to kind of pay attention to the things that they purchase. So if I had a customer and she always purchased strawberries, and I noticed that when I am bringing her out, she does not have strong strawberries in her order. I'm going to ask her, no strawberries today? These little things make your customer feel important. And then that may also open up the door for them to explain to you what the problem is. What if there's a sale on strawberries, two for $5, 2 packs of strawberries for $5? Let's just say this. And you're sold out because that's a pretty good deal. They may not want to say anything to you. They might be like, I'm going to go somewhere else. and get my strawberries. Well, when your customer goes somewhere else, that is giving that company, that store, unless it's another store that is in your same company. So, for example, if you work at Kroger, or if you work at Meyer, we have Meyer here, and that customer goes to another Meyer, another Kroger, it is still keeping the business within your company. However, stores aren't that close. They're not that close together, okay? So more than likely they will go to a competitor of yours, and you are giving them the opportunity to be wowed and wowed by another company. So the best bet is to talk to your customer. If you know that there are certain things that they purchase and they buy, and this is your regular customer, and you pay attention to them, then that is opening up the door for them to communicate with you. And we will get to what you do and I have like another little tip on here, that what you do when you are out of stock of certain things to keep that customer coming back. So you want to get to know them on a name basis. You want to communicate with them and build a rapport. Make them feel special. Make them feel like we really appreciate your business, because it is their business that is keeping you in a job. And it's also their business that is keeping your company thriving. Be professional. If customer service is not for you, choose another field. It's simple. You know if you're a people person or not. You know you more than anybody else does. You know if you're a people person or not. If you are not a people person, customer service may not be for you. You know how you want to be treated when you come into a store, or when you talk to someone on the phone, or when you go into a clothing retail store. You know what kind of attention you want, and you know how you want to be treated. If you are not capable of treating a customer the same way you would want to be treated as a customer, that is not a job for you. So, factory jobs and warehouse jobs hire just as frequently as customer service jobs do. So, you can be in a factory, you can go to a warehouse, and I know there's Amazons all over the place. Um, we have like Bath and Body warehouses here in Ohio, Victoria's Secret warehouses. There's so many different factories that you can work at, where you are just at a station packing, boxing, doing whatever you need to do, where you are not in a customer's face. So you have to be honest with yourself. Anytime you want to comment or leave a question, guys, you are more than you are more than welcome to do so. So, like I was saying, be honest with yourself and don't waste your time and and the company's time. Um, and these are just some of the things that it takes to hire you. I have been in business management for a very long time before I started working for myself. And background checks cost. There is a huge fee to do a background check. Orientations cost, because that is labor hours. So when a company is giving you an orientation, they are putting you on their payroll, they are putting you in their schedule. So if I give you a 4-hour orientation, I am working it out in my schedule to have you and whoever else is in that orientation class with you on my schedule for that week. That is taking away, if you want to look at it this way, it is taken away from some of the employees who are already established in that company, in that building, because every store gets labor hours. So if I get 1,000 labor hours for my customer service front end, I am taking some of those hours away, and I have budgeted to train you, to give you an orientation. Training, orientation, and background checks all costs. So if you are wasting your time and a company's time, just remember that a company is paying for you to be great with their company. So if you are not a great customer service representative, if you are not a great people person, don't waste your time, don't waste the company's time, and don't take away from other people's hours, because it does happen. It really does happen. All right. Any questions? I am so open to them, guys. Feel free to leave your comments. Is the customer always right? No, the customer is not always right. Let me tell you guys a story. Um, when I had worked for this company, I had started in one area, and I really loved the area that I was working in. And they said, blogs, we want you to go into another area and get their customer service department together. And I was like, "What area?" And I had heard so many stories about this store. I'm like, "Oh no. Oh, you gotta be come on, seriously." And they was like, "Can you please just do this for us? We think that you will do really good, and people will take to you, and you could get the service back to where it needed to be." And pretty much like one thing that I noticed was there was just so much going on, and there would be customers that would come in, they would walk through the door. I never knew this was a thing, but they would bring in foil, like in their coats or jackets or something. Sometimes this will happen, and they would wrap the foil up around our games, CDs, movies, and walk out the door. Well, the foil protecting that would not cause the alarm to go off, because we did have sensors. And some of the game companies and, whoever was packaging these CDs before we received them, they will put the sensors inside. And so they would wrap it up in foil and walk out the door with them, and then go out to the car for about 5-10 minutes, come back in and try to return it. Then, of course, we have loss prevention on staff. We have people that, there are cameras all around stores, and they would say, "Hey, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I missed that person." And they would call my extension and say, "But if they come back in and try to return that, please let your service desk know that we're going to deny the return." There was also a thing where people would go and just, I had a couple pick up like the big tabs of, it's like pool cleaner, and there's big Clorox tabs that you put in like your pool or your hot tub. And this thing, this big, it's almost like a big painter's bucket of Clorox tabs, and it was like about $60, and they would walk to the back and bring it up and say, "I want to return this." Well, you didn't even purchase it. So when you have things like that, customers are not. Hi, Gigi's Gluten Free Lab. Thank you so much for coming in. When you have things like that, you want to get your manager involved. You do not want to be the person going back and forth with that customer. Your manager has already probably been working with loss prevention, or if it's something that's against your policy, your manager knows how to, maneuver around that. They know how to offer the customer something that you may not be able to offer them. They know how to override things in their system that you might not be able to override. They know how to give a substitute of something that you probably could not offer them. So make sure that you get your customer. Once you notice that something is outside of the policy, or something is not right, say, I will be more than happy to assist you, but right now I need to include my manager because I'm not sure if I can do this. That's all you have to say. You're not looked at as a bad person. Actually, the customer may appreciate you for doing that because you are reaching out to someone that can help them. You have to realize when customers come to you, they may have had a long day, just like you have to, and all they want to do is just get their stuff and go home. They want a smooth transaction. They may have kids at home, whatever. They don't need you to make their lives any more difficult. Just let them go. So if you cannot do it, make sure that you get in contact with your manager and find a way to make it right for the customer. Are customers always right? No, they are not. And I'll tell you that now. They are not. People are people. We're all humans. And sometimes we want things that, cannot be done. Sometimes we can be a little, we don't want to understand. Sometimes we can be a little unreasonable. And that's with all people. But at the end of the day, if it's really something that cannot be done, make sure you get your manager involved. And make sure you're polite about it. Don't be like, girl, let me get my boss. Because what you asking me, no, don't be that way. Just make sure that you apologize to the customer that what they're asking for, I do apologize. There is nothing that I can do as far as this is concerned because it does go against our company policy. And I don't have the power to override that. But let me get someone that may be able to assist you. And that is how you take care of that problem. Do not have too much pride. Don't have too much pride. Too much pride can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. In this case, a bad thing. There are some people that will just go back and forth, back and forth. When you work in customer service, you cannot have too much pride. If you're the type of person that don't know how to apologize or you don't know how to accept when you've done something wrong, chalk that up and throw it out the window when you come to work if you work in customer service. Because if you do something wrong, be open and be willing to apologize to your customer and make it right. I had some employees where it hurt their feelings. If I came up to the front desk and this customer said, I have this rain check that's outdated by 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks is kind of like a stretch a little bit in the retail world or in the grocery world or whatever. Um, but I have this customer who wants me to change the price. These apples were once $69 a pound, and they're not this anymore, and I've had to get on some of my employees and write them up because they would go back and forth because they had too much pride. Instead of saying, that's kind of against my threshold of what I can override. But let me get my manager for you. You do have a signature on that rain check. I do see, and we all have busy lives. 2 weeks, okay. Woo, let me get a manager. No, instead they would go back and forth. I'm not changing that price. I'm not changing that price. I'm not going to do this. You cannot have too much pride when dealing with a customer. Like I said, these people have lives too. So you want to make sure that you are making their transactions simple and easy. You're building a rapport with them. So if you cannot do it, get a manager involved. Don't have too much pride. If it's something that the system literally will not let you do unless you get a fingerprint on that register or you get a key turn, a special code or whatever, get someone that can do it. And if they can't do it, then they will tell your customer, I do apologize. This is way over the time frame that we allow. We are now in 2 weeks ads, and that is from an ad from a month ago. I am so sorry. It did have the expiration date at the bottom of the, receipt or the bottom of your rain check, and I apologize. Let your manager be the person that does that. So don't have too much pride. And when I was able to work it out for a customer, some of my employees would get upset because they were too prideful. Oh, now I feel stupid. I just argue with this person. Well, don't argue at all. Don't argue at all with the customer. Just if there's something you can't do, say, I'm so sorry, I cannot do this. Let me see if my manager can do it. Don't make any promises that you can't keep because you don't know. It's out of your hands at that point. Once you can't do it, just let the customer know, I'm going to see if my manager can do it. Period, point blank. Nick says, don't threaten a customer with a hammer. I never had that. Oh, wait. Wait, Nick. Guys, a funny story about Nick is Nick used to be my employee. So he knows some of the stuff that I am talking about. And I don't think that she did a hammer, but I do remember having an employee who put a bat. She was one of my greeters, and she was an older woman too. And I mean, she was not playing with these kids, guys. She was not, let me tell you, she was not playing with these kids. And she went and grabbed a bat um from our athletics area, and she put it under this bench that we have for customers to sit on if they needed to sit down or whatever. And that's where she was standing there, and she literally was like, once the girls walked back up, it was these girls that had said something to her. Once they walked back up and they were about to go and check out, she pulled that bat out. And I had a call from my loss prevention guys like, listen, Miss So and so is about ready to smear somebody's head off with a bat. And I just couldn't believe it. I had to let her go instantly. So, in your case, Nick, never had a hammer, but I have had a bat. I'm so sorry, but you didn't give me a $20 bill. You gave me a 10. Okay. So, Trish, there are some people who, well, like I said, customers are not always right. There are some people who will either A, try you, or B, they really did think that you gave, them something else because they weren't paying attention. At that point, you get your manager involved and you tell them to count down your seal. And they'll be able to pull a report in the back. It might take about 10 minutes. They know exactly what's supposed to be in your register. Once they pull that report, it is telling that report tells your manager every dollar that has went in their till and every dollar that has went out on that register number. And so they will be able to know based off of that report how much money is supposed to be in that register. And they'll be able to tell if they're over or short. You don't even have to have that customer. The way that like the whole new technology is, I know, like in the past when I was 16 and I worked at CVS, if something happened like that, we had to tell the customer, we're so sorry, we'll call you the next day because we had to wait for the report to like come in after the night was over and everything was closed out. Well, the way everything is now, you can go to the back, you can take that register, that till to the back, and count it down and pull your report, and it'll tell you exactly what's supposed to be on there based off of coupons and everything that has been ran on your register throughout the day. And you would be able to tell, okay, I am short, I am over, whatever, or I got exactly the right amount of money I'm supposed to have, so she didn't give me what she gave me. Also, you do, in that case, you have to be careful for short change artists. There are people who may come in and they may give you $100 bill on something that is $10. Next thing you know, they're asking you for change, and you end up $50, $60 short in your register. When anything that comes with any type of money issues in your register, make sure you get your manager. Nick said, I am still upset that I missed that. I heard about that the next day. Yes, Nick. Yes. All right. So we did the don't have too much pride. Go above and beyond. Going above and beyond will not only make you a customer favorite, but you'll become a spotlight employee. Your managers will start offering you extra hours if they have it available. Um, and you may also be, the next step for a promotion or a bonus. I had employees who went above and beyond for my customers, and as soon as I noticed that that was just who they are, that they just had that special touch for customer service, I automatically started training them to be my next shift leader, my next manager. I started training them to, be the best that they could, in the company because I saw potential there. So make sure that you are giving your just go above and beyond for your customer. Christine says, when I was a supervisor at Walmart, I would pull the till tight, then count it down. Pull the till right, then and count it down. Yes, that's how you got to do it. And Christine, the way that everything is now, because I remember when I was 16, we had to take a customer's number down and say, we'll call you tomorrow morning once our report comes in. No, the way that everything is now, you can pull it right then and there and count that till down. I had a cash office that was under me. I go in there and pull the report on that register, and it would tell me every single thing that it should have gone out and gone in. Now, I didn't have to go through a list and calculate. No, at the bottom, it would literally tell me, I have my details within that screen, but at the bottom, it would tell me this is how much needs to be in that register, period. This is what happened throughout the day, but this is the amount you're looking for. And that was it. And let's see. Trish says they will try so many. Hold on. They will try you. So my manager wasn't available, and I didn't give her change for a 20, and she didn't mention it again after I went in on her. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have gone in, but Trish. Hey, Trish. Excuse me. Christine, I did the same thing. Yes, Nick, you were one of my SCs, so yeah, you did. All right. Um, be organized and clean. Oh my gosh, this is very important. No one can work effectively in a cluttered or filthy area. During downtime, show your customers you care by cleaning and sanitizing your workspace. If you are in the clothing retail, like follow the Roy G. Biv rule and make your store look well organized. Clear and sanitize your card readers and keypads, also your counter spaces. I have also been a manager in a clothing retail store, and my store was literally by size, small, medium, large. If you came onto a rack, and I'm a stickler on this because I wanted my customers to just come in and be able to pick their size without having to slide through the rack. For one thing, the noise is just annoying, just hearing a hanger just on metal racks. I don't know why, but it was like scratching nails on a chalkboard for me. So, having your store organized from small, medium to large in every rack section you get. If it's a 4 rack section, if it's a rack that is long ways that has jeans on it or shirts, make sure that with the style, it is whatever style that shirt is or whatever color that shirt is. If you got 10 of them, 10 white shirts or small, medium, large. So you got all your smalls, your mediums, your larges, and that 10. Then you go to whatever the next color up is. So if it's a yellow, and then after yellow it's orange, follow your Roy G. Biv. Okay. So it would actually be orange, then yellow, and then on from there. Make your store look organized. People come in, sometimes they're in a rush. They're trying to find something for Sunday, they're trying to find something for a meeting, they're trying to find something to go out tonight. They don't have time to look throughout your store and try to run all over the place. Make sure that it's organized because that is a part of customer service because it's based off of the convenience of your customer. Um, Make sure that your counters are clean and sanitized. Like I said, your keypads, your card readers, that it looks clean. And that is in retail, that's in grocery store. And even if you're at home, say for example, you work from home and you promise a customer that you will call them back on Friday and you have a pile of clutter on your desk and your calendar is under that pile of clutter. How many people are going to remember that I have to call the customer back today, on Friday at 3 p.m.? Not a lot if you got a lot of stuff all over the place. That goes into customer service, even if you're at home. So be organized. Nick says, how would you deal with a customer who is using an EBT card and bought some tissues and claims there should be taxes? There should not be taxes on tissues. You know who I'm talking about. Okay. We are talking about that older guy that used to come in all the time and say no taxes and scream to the top of his lungs, Nick. We're not going to talk about specific people, okay? You would just get your manager involved like I did. I mean, there's nothing really that you can do about it. You would get in cases like that, the customer is not right, unfortunately, and you would have to get your manager involved. Christine says that's crazy because it's not for, so it goes text laugh out loud. Yes, it's not food. Yes, that's true, Christine. But as a manager or supervisor, I would explain the rules of how taxes work. Yes. As a cashier, I would just call for a manager or supervisor. Exactly. Exactly, Christine. Another thing that comes along with making sure that your workspace is organized and clean, make sure you have everything that you need at your workspace. Make sure you have your receipt paper and a backup roll. Make sure that you have paper bags. Make sure you have plastic bags available. There are some people who do not want plastic bags for many of reasons. Make sure that you have everything available for your customers. Make sure you have paper towels at your station. Make sure you have your sanitizing spray. Make sure you are ready to go to make your day successful. And make sure that you are setting the second person up, the next person that's coming in after you, make sure you're setting them up for success. If someone left you an extra roll of receipt paper and you had to use the other roll because you got really busy, make sure that before the end of your shift that you replace that extra roll and put that there. Make sure if you use all your paper towels that you are putting another roll of paper towels there. Make sure if you went through your sanitizing spray that you're going to a pump over in like your whole OSHA area and you are filling that up for the next person that's going to come in and take over your register. Make sure that you're cleaning off the belt in a grocery store. There's so much nasty stuff, from meats, meat, or, you just want to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success and the next person that's coming in after you that may be taking over that register. And also, this also goes along with over the phone. If you're dealing with a customer that says that I'm going to call in at 5 o'clock when I get off of work and when I get home and settled in, and you know that you get off at 4, make sure that you are leaving notes on the account for that next person. When that customer calls in, they know exactly what's going on, because that can be very annoying for a customer to have to explain themselves. I've already explained myself to you earlier. I had a whole list of things that was a problem, and you're trying to tell me I got to explain it to you again. Just imagine how you would feel in that situation. Imagine if you went and you purchased apples and you're putting your apple on a belt that is not cleaned. That would be unacceptable. Imagine if you called in on your lunch break and you just spent 20 minutes explaining what is going on with your cell phone or what is going on with your account. And then you say, well, oh my gosh, I got to go. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and give you a call back at 5 o'clock. And that person gets off at 4 and they didn't notate the account. So when you call in at 5, all you're getting is, I'm so sorry, ma'am or sir. I don't have any notation of that on the account. Can you explain to me what happened? And you're like, are you kidding me? That was just a waste of your lunch break. It's an inconvenience in your time. So make sure that you are setting the next person up for success and that you're setting yourself up for success as well. And Trish says, I was working at a hood neighborhood store. I wasn't rude to everyone, only the people who tried me and wanted to argue. Trish, let me tell you, when I worked for Meyer, I had worked in an area which was the suburb area, okay? And they told me, we want you to go into the inner city area and it's a rough store, but we want you to get it together. 90% of my customers was not, they were just, some of them was rough around the edges. I got robbed at that store gunpoint for 15,000. Gunpoint. It was me and one of my employees, and she was my SC. We did the changeover, which is pretty much a self checkout so that money doesn't get jammed. All of that money that the customers have been feeding into the machine, we would take it out, put it into money bags. We have money bags that is numbered for each of those registers. And we had a tote that we would carry those money bags in. And he came, robbed me gunpoint, and took that whole tote. It was a rough store. I had lost employees to drug overdoses. I had lost employees to gun violence. But let me tell you, my store was the in the top 5 for customer service. Um, as far as our customers doing our surveys. When I came into that store, I saw a lot of things that needed to be changed. And Nick can tell you, and God is so good because Nick was one of my top um, SCs. And it was just so meant for him not to be there the night that I got robbed because he was like, I wouldn't have gave the guy the money. And I'm like, we both would have went and shot. Okay. But When I came to that store, I was kinda overwhelmed. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" I'm seeing people run out with merchandise. I'm seeing LP, loss prevention, chase after them. I'm seeing this, within my first 2 weeks there. And I'm like, "I don't wanna be here. I don't wanna." And then I had to start training my people. I had I had meetings every Sunday. My meetings were Sundays and Mondays. The people that I couldn't reach, they were off on Sunday. I would have a meeting with them on Monday on drilling customer service, on treating customers like it didn't matter what they had. It didn't matter if they were using a WIC certificate. I didn't want it to matter if they were using a EBT food stamp card. I did not care. You treat that customer like they are coming in with $1 million. And I told all of my employees that. And guess what? They started treating the customers that way, and the customers felt more valued. They felt like, yeah, I might not have enough money or to go and buy up this whole meat department. I might be having to use coupons. But when you make your customer feel like it doesn't matter what you have, you are giving us your business, period. A sale is a sale. So I know that sometimes people are hard to deal with, but you want to treat everyone. I've had people who curse me out, and then they felt really bad, and they've even apologized because I still treated them with kindness. And I still, "Okay, let me just work it out for you. It's okay. You have a good day." Then they turn around, come back in, "You know what? I'm so sorry." Or they'll call me and say, "I talked to you earlier and I felt so bad. I can't even come in and talk to you in your face because I just feel so bad and I want to apologize." So there is a way to deal with all people. And I know sometimes it is very hard. Hey, McCray Kings. um, When I worked at the liquor store, you have to have really tough skin because some of the customers will try you. Yes, they will, Christine. I had so many drunk people come into that store. Yeah. And you know what? And that's where, unfortunately, there's some stores that do not have a good security team and they leave it to that employee to deal with that. And that is really hard. But if you have someone else in that store, a manager, some other people that can just kind of enforce some security for you on your behalf, that helps out. But sometimes you do have to, unfortunately, sometimes it is really hard when you are by yourself. Um, we had many losses in that store, but one of the best stores in the country. We did. And you guys were always in the top 5 or number 1, Nick, because I was not playing. You know my meetings. Um, that night was crazy. I remember my roommate telling me at 3 in the morning what happened. Yes, thanks goodness, Nick, you wasn't there. I'm about to die for anyone else's money, right? But you know what, Trish? There was a lot of people that was like, I wouldn't have gave it to him, and I'm like, you know what? Just comply. Just go ahead. You got a gun to my face. Go ahead. It is not worth okay $15,000. My life is not. My SC's life is not. And I felt bad. She was from Cameroon and she had only been in this country for 6 months. I gave her the job when she had just been in this country for 2 months. So within her first year of working in US, she had been robbed gunpoint. And I stood in front of her. I saw that she was about to crack. I just felt so bad. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like what, like it was just so I didn't even I'm just like, "Go ahead and take whatever you need to take." And so, it's just at one point, I'm like, "Why did it have to be her with me?" Because this is her first year here, and then and another I was happy because she was just calm, and but I did see her about to crack, like cry or scream or whatever was happening. I saw it all over her face. And but yeah, everything just happens for a reason, I guess, because I know for sure Nick could not be there, and some of the other people that was like, if I was here, it would have went this way. I'm like, oh goodness, no. Um, Nick, you wouldn't be here to talk about it today. And yeah, those meetings were no joke. They weren't. After we got robbed, the state of Washington had armed security every time I worked until he was caught. Yeah, and you know what's so sad, Christine, is I am a key witness and the guy has never gotten caught. This happened to me about 5 years ago. He never got caught. And they said, we'll call you. We want you to come to court. You're a key witness, and never nothing. I've talked to detectives and everything. And that's what's sad about it. Um, so we covered being organized and having everything together that you need. Um, always ask your customer if they need your assistance or if they found everything okay. This will make them feel valued, and they'll also value you, not just you, but your company. Offer rain checks when sale items are sold out. So, like we were talking about those strawberries, 2 for $5. You notice that your customer always buys strawberries. You say, "Hey, Miss Lynn, what's going on? You don't have strawberries today?" That opens up the door for your customer, and that makes them feel good because they may be like, I don't want to say nothing. I'll just go somewhere else. But once you open it up, like, where's your strawberries at? We have them 2 for $5. And they say, well, that opens the door for them to feel comfortable and tell you, you guys are sold out. Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and buy you a rain check. How many of them did you want? I wanted 2, I wanted 4, I wanted 5. No problem. Let me go ahead and write you a rain check and I'll go ahead and sign off on this. And next time we have them in, no matter what the price is, we'll go ahead and change that price for you. So make it work for your customer. If you are in a clothing retail and you don't have what they want, call around to your other stores. See if they have it available. If your customer can go to that store and pick it up. If your customer says, that store is kind of out of the way, I don't have the gas to drive all the way out there, say, you know what, here goes a coupon where you can get that $10 off of that top you wanted, or the shoes you wanted, or the pants you wanted. Believe me, you can do it because everybody in retail knows that there are little things that we can do for the customer. All customers don't know this, but you know this if you work in clothing retail, that there are coupons that you can offer your customer. So just go ahead and say, hey, well, sorry about that. And if you need the shirt tonight, here's $10 off that shirt. So that could be like $10 that you put on gas instead of the shirt, and you get the $10 off. Make it work for the customer. If the customer says, oh, you know what, it's okay, I didn't need that shirt until next week anyway because I'm going to some type of outing. Go into your online source, order it from your online store. Make sure that you just comp the, shipping fee. No shipping fee. Have it shipped to your store and say, hey, can you come and pick it up on here on Friday? I ordered it online for you. It's going to be the same price as in store. Or if there's an online deal, because online they have a lot of sales. Hey, I even saved you $5 off of that shirt. You don't have to pay shipping. Come back on Friday and pick it up. And do it that way. Make it work for your customer. Um, Monica says don't follow them around the store. Exactly. Oh, guys. Oh, let's talk about this. Do not assume that people are going to take from you. Don't assume that you'll be surprised. I have even had loss prevention in stores that I've worked at. And even if loss prevention was in some type of home office watching our cameras and they weren't in our store, who were following the wrong people. And you're like, you looking at so and so. But I'm looking at this lady over here, and I'm pretty sure she filling up on baby diapers. I'm pretty sure she's filling up on Similac. I'm pretty sure she's filling up on makeup. No, 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 no. We got to catch. And then that person comes up and they walk right to a register. And guess who run out the door? The woman that you said, I'm pretty sure she's filling up on diapers, Similac, and makeup. You cannot do that. Do not follow a customer unless you have a reason to follow them, unless they are doing something that is very suspect. You don't have to follow them. Now, if you do something suspect, there is protocol in stores, guys, where they may see you. Okay, for example, I'm loss prevention. I'm walking down the aisle and I see you grab some paint and put it in your pocket. Uh I'm not going to run to my office and look at the camera. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start following you throughout the store. Because what happens is when I get into my office and I call the police on you, and during that time that I run back to the office, if one of your kids say, Mom, I think, or Dad, I think that guy saw you and you put it back and I call the police on you, guess who you suing? You suing the company. So now I got to keep an eye on you. Because if you was to put it back, I'm like, okay, done deal. Wash my hands. I don't have to call the police on them. I don't have a catch. But as soon as I see you do something suspect, I'm not going, or I see you still, I can't run back to the office because you could put it back. You could be like, you know what, I got the money for this. Let me go ahead and put this back. I don't know you did that because I'm on my way to the office, unlocking my door and watching you on the camera. And from there, I'm like, she got paint in her pocket. So the only way that I can keep an eye on you is by following you and by kind of like spying on you a little bit, sneaking at the end cap, looking at you, waiting to see what else you're going to put in your pocket, waiting to see this, because that gives me an idea of what I'm going to tell the police. Hey, she has paint that's $4.99. Then she also put this in her pocket. That's like $2.99. It lets me know if I'm going to be dealing with like a big charge or if it's just going to be a little charge. So, and not only that, it also keeps me from getting the company sued because I kept my eye on you and I know for sure that you still have those items on you. So, but if you don't see anyone doing anything like that, they didn't put anything in their pocket, you're just following them because you're judging them, don't do it. Don't do it because you can get in just as much trouble. My guy was stupid enough to come back to the store again to see if I recognized him, which I did. And it was the busiest day of the year. Wow. This was an experience at the liquor store. Christine, let me tell you what my guy did. I like when I look at somebody, I like remember like their face, like their facial features and stuff. And the guy that robbed me had half a ski mask on, but his eyes, believe it or not, he was like a brown skin, darker brown skin complexion, and his eyes remind me of Will Smith. Like seriously, the way Will Smith's eyes is, this guy's eyes is. Well, I'm like, wait a minute. Even though he had half a ski mask on, I'm like, that guy. And then I thought about it the week before when I was doing my changeover, because we did a changeover the same day every week. We tried to change up the times. There was a guy that was staring at me. He was just staring me down when me and my employee was doing the changeover. And I said, did you find everything okay? And he was like, yeah. And he walked out the door. Well, when I told the detectives and the police that, they went back on the camera, and guess what this guy was wearing? The same shirt and shoes. Same shirt and shoes. It was him. So they were able to, narrow in on like his face and all of that stuff. And that's how they were able to find out. They gave me like this list of people to choose from. After a few weeks, they came to my place, called me, and told me to, hey, which person was it? And he was the first one on the list. So yeah, they do the stupidest things. Okay. Some of them do the stupidest things. And Nick says, what about the person who opens a bag of chips in front of you and starts eating them and walks around the store? My grandma used to do all that all the time and didn't pay for it. Okay, and Nick, your grandma used to open up a bag of chips and eat them and not pay for them. When she finished the bag of chips, she would put the empty bag of chips in a trash can or in her pocketbook. Nick, I'm just gonna skip out on. Well, Nick, I mean, what do you think? I mean, that's your grandma. What do you think was the right thing? Because that sounds like grandma should have been followed. To me, it sounds like grandma should have been followed by somebody. And I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to make too many comments on grandma's behavior, but seemed like she should have been followed. Um. So, guys, I'm going to open it up for any other comments or questions that you have. And last but not least, leave your problems at the front door. Believe me, we all have bad days. We do. We're not robots. You work in customer service, you're not a robot. I know sometimes I feel like customers think you are, but you're not. You're not programmed by the company that you work for. You are human and you will have bad days. There will be loss in families, loss of friends, relationship issues, the kids, bad grades in class, or you in college and you have barely gotten any sleep and you got to come into the job. It could be so many things, financial issues. There could be so many things that can cause you to have a bad day. Leave it at the door. And when you are having just a bad day where you're like, I don't want nobody in my face today, I can't do it. Go to your manager and say, Mr. or Mrs. So and so, today is not a good day for me. Explain to them what's going on and say, do you have a job duty today that I can do where I am less hands on with the customers? And they may be able to work something out for you. If they see that you are going to be giving a customer attitude, that you might snap at a customer, they may say, how much paid time off do you have? You can go ahead and use the day off if you want. I can't stand for my employees to come in and tell me that one of their family members passed. I would say, and what are you doing here? Do you have any paid time off? Because guess what? At the end of the day, this is your family. What are you doing here? Now, you might not have a manager that's that understanding, but you may have a manager that's that understanding that may offer you the day off. Or, they might be able to get you a job duty for the day that you're less hands on with the customer. Or they might be able to say, I can let you do this for a few hours, but then I do need you to be with the customers after that. Do you think that you can cool off by that time? And meet them 50-50. You might have to paint a smile on it. You don't have paid time off. You really need your job, or you can't afford to lose those hours, or even if they offer you to go home, voluntary time off without pay, and you can't afford to lose that, make sure that, you are willing to work 50-50 and willing to put a smile on for your customers and willing to go above and beyond and give your best customer service, because these are still your customers. You are representing a company. Let's see what is going on in the chat. I should have snitched on her, but that's grandma though. She might beat me with a yardstick. Nick, at this point, I'm just gonna say TMI because yeah, I don't. So did grandma do this with all the bags? Like every time y'all went grocery shopping, she got her a bag of chips. Mm. Grandma, grandma, grandma. Yeah, Christine said you don't snitch on grandma, Nick. You just don't. I mean, you don't. But mm, mm, really, Nick, grandma. But also, I understand that at times people believe that customer service jobs shouldn't be taken seriously. Some people believe that. They do. And it's based off of the pay and the reputation of customer service. Um, and now let me tell you, now I will tell you this, even though I worked in this area that I'm telling you about, I had, and I had a utility worker. So I had, let's see, s- systems. I had a systems department. If anything went wrong with the registers or systems, they fixed it. These are the departments I had under me. I had my cash office under me, service desk, my cashiers, my utility workers, and I had a utility worker. Now, a utility worker, they push carts majority of the time. They clean up messes in the store. I had a utility worker that was in school to be a doctor. He was 23 years old, intelligent. I had some cashiers who were in school to, they had some very I had a cashier that was going to law school. And I had a customer her tell his kids in front of her because he was upset that there was like a coupon scam going on at the time. It was a big thing. People were getting these coupons online that were not legit. They weren't reading at any store that you went to. And I don't understand how people did not understand that. Wait a minute, you didn't understand how you can get a coupon that's like, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was something this ridiculous. Say, for example, you're getting a big box of, let's say, Tide laundry detergent, like a big, big container of it, like maybe like 180 load container, okay? And you only paying $2 for it. How do you not be like, is this legit? Like, really, I'm only going to be paying $2 for this. So she scans it and it's coming up invalid coupon because, and we had already received from our corporate that there were these coupons going around for Tide and Cottonelle. That these coupons were going around and that they were fraud coupons. People were printing them online, offline, and that they weren't legit. And she was like, I don't understand why this coupon is not going through. Let me call my manager. And he tells his kids, this is why I say, go to college. Little did he know he was talking to a law student. So when I came up and I looked at the coupon and I'm reading it, he's like mouthy. Yeah, your cashier don't know what she's doing. This is what I just told my kids. This is why they need to make sure they go to college. I said, she is in college. She's a law student. This is what, your third year? And she looked at him, it's like, yeah, mouth shut. He didn't know what to say. So I know some people feel like that is a belittling thing to be in. You get some people that snatch money from you, they throw money at you. They feel like you are less than because of the position you're in, but you're still representing a company. And at the end of the day, even if you didn't go to school and you're starting from scratch somewhere, remember this, you can grow. If you give your all and you do what you're supposed to do in customer service, you can go from being a cashier to being an SC to being a manager to being high up in the company. So it helps that you keep your cool, especially if this is something that you need this job and you need promotions. You want to give your 100%. You want to be one of those star players for your company and for your team. Seriously. And don't let anybody make you feel bad because of the position that you have. And let's see. Nick did. Oh, okay. So she just did it once when you were 8. Trish said, did grandma give you some chips, Nick? Sally, she didn't. Trish, my one eye patch, no leg. Grandma wasn't me. Nick, Nick, we ain't having it. I'm only kidding, but she didn't share the chips. Child, my mama would have opened up grapes and all kinds of things and put it back. Lord God, what is going on in this chat today? No, no, I surely would have told. Lord God. Well, guys, that is all that I have for how to be a good customer service rep. Thank you so much for being here with me and spending time with me. Um, if you have any questions or any comments, I'll leave it open for a few seconds. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. Thank you for spending time with me. I appreciate all of you. Have a blessed rest of your day. If you have not, please make sure you thumbs up the live. If you are watching a replay, thumbs up, thumbs up. Love you all and have a good